Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. My name is Bo, and welcome to my new Minecraft Hardcore Forever world. I am going to be streaming this world primarily with these YouTube videos kind of as check-ins every so often after a large build or whatever. So if you want to check out my Twitch channel, the link to that is in the description. So here we go on my first world for this video. I am pretty picky about the worlds that I want to play Minecraft on. I've been playing this game for probably about 15 years now. I started in the beta. I have taken some time off and come back again. I didn't really want to build in a desert or in the Badlands. The main thing that I am looking for when I'm looking for a new world is just really interesting landscapes that I can envision myself building in and that give me ideas for stuff to build in. So that's why you see me turning down a lot of these worlds almost immediately, just because I don't know, there was something too much or not enough about them. I just couldn't see myself living in that world in Minecraft for that long. I have a, like, 6-year-old Minecraft hardcore world that I have been in for a long time that is in an acacia biome, and it doesn't rain in there, and rain is something that I really enjoy about, like, the ambiance of Minecraft. So for that reason, I'm turning down a lot of these places where it doesn't rain or where it snows or where, you know, no precipitation happens. This one, though, kind of gave me good vibes immediately from the beginning. I like the plains. I haven't really done a long-term Minecraft world in the plains before, but I do think the plains are really emblematic of Minecraft, and like when you think of Minecraft, this is what you think of. But I loved these mountains. I was like, when I saw this, yes, like, okay, this is the one. So I just started gathering materials and making my way over to the village. I got a whole bunch of seeds to sort out food at the beginning before I finally got there. Brewing stand is nice, got a carrot, got my food sorted. And then it was just on with the regular tasks of looting the village. My first chest had some emeralds in it, which is pretty nice. I immediately took the chest and the beds, because I'm definitely going to need those as I gather loot to kind of start. I used to start every Minecraft world by just going right into the mines, but I feel like there's just so many better ways now to, like, get a head start. And I'm not really like a speed runner or anything, like I play really slow. And you'll definitely see that in this video for sure, but I just like to start with kind of some base loot before I start really playing. And here we see like the beginning. I'm punching trees, getting wood. I'm gonna build a crafting table and my really preliminary tools. I really like to start with just a chest boat, some basic tools, and go out and just start collecting stuff. You know, looting shipwrecks. They have, you know, really good loot, surprisingly, and they can also give you treasure maps to even better loot. So anyway, off I go exploring. I almost immediately run into a shipwreck, which has a diamond in, like, the first chest I check, which is just awesome. Like, it would have taken me so long to find diamonds otherwise. But I use the iron I get from there to immediately make an axe. I then make some doors to be able to have some air while I do my looting. And I find a treasure chest, I find more food, I find all sorts of stuff. And I love ships. I have always wanted to build a ship or a shipwreck or something like that in Minecraft. But I haven't yet, so that is going to be a goal for this world. But I check my map, it's really close, and while I am looking for that, I decide maybe I should get some sleep, but pretty much as soon as I wake up the next morning, I end up finding a jungle temple. And I can hear zombies from the outside, so I immediately make a shield and use my axe to get another achievement, Monster Hunter, killing stuff. So I go down in, kill a zombie, get, you know, there's a skeleton here, get another achievement. And the loot, honestly, isn't that good in Jungle Temples. I came mainly for, like, a little bit of redstone, some armor trims, and, these sticky pistons. I'm gonna need a lot of sticky pistons in this world. They're just super cool. Very useful. On my way to the treasure chest, I do find a ruined nether portal, which is cool. I make a bow, and then I find my way there. Something that I know about buried treasure, I don't know why I know it, but if you go to the coordinates 9, 9 within the chunk, that is every time where the buried treasure is located. This one has some pretty good stuff, has some emeralds, has a Heart of the Sea, which is going to be really good, has some water breathing potions, which are going to be really helpful in the future, but don't need the map anymore, just throw that away. While I'm here, I figure I might as well get some saplings I don't have yet. I'm going to get some jungle saplings, going to get some acacia saplings, and just getting more wood in general is great for the early game, so I chop down this whole tree and end up getting up my saplings before moving along. I do decide to try and get this block of gold, because gold is so useful, but I had forgotten that gold pickaxes for some reason don't mine gold blocks. But anyway, I continue exploring. I run into these ocean ruins. I loot those, get some more food, get a fishing rod. Curse of Vanishing isn't going to matter much, but I find some more chests, get another buried treasure map, which is going to be great. And in this chest here, I end up getting my first Silk Touch book, which is going to be just so helpful in the future. So I just keep looking around, getting stuff. I get some pumpkins, I get some acacia saplings, I run into another shipwreck. And this one has some armor trims, as well as another buried treasure map, which is actually the same buried treasure map from the previous one. So I end up making my way there. Once again, I go to the coordinates 9, whatever, 9. That's where the buried treasure is. The loot in this one isn't super nice. It has iron, which I'm never going to turn down. It's going to be really good for tools later. And some armor as well. So, but at this point, I decide my boat is really full. I'm going to start making my way back, and on the way back, I find another shipwreck, which has some more armor trims. Never going to turn those down. And another treasure map. And I am just too tempted by what could be in there. So I loot this chest before I make my way over to where that treasure map is. I do end up finding it. Has some TNT, which is great. Even more iron. Not going to turn that down, as I said before. And then I start making my way back. Everything is going super smoothly. It's going great when all of a sudden... So I decide to turn around and see if I can get a trident. And this right here is just a really unfortunate series of events. Run into a pufferfish, get poisoned, I keep looking around, and a trident hits me in the back. I know one more of those is going to kill me, so I swim away, eat some fish, regen my health, and come in for another shot. This one goes so much better. Deciding to use my shield, know where to block, and this guy goes down pretty smoothly. I do get poisoned again, and I also did not get a trident, so I decide to just go back home. Except for I don't really have a home at this point, so instead I just get some spruce saplings and just gather the rest of the materials I couldn't yet from the village, and look around to try and find a little spot for me to build just a tiny little base in the meantime. I do find this bundle, which I've never used before. I think it's crazy that it only holds one potion. What's up with that? I don't know. But it holds so much other stuff, doesn't matter. Clean up my inventory a little bit, and then I continue to be a hoarder. But at this point, night is falling, so I decide to shut these villagers in their homes, for their own safety, of course, because I'm going to need these guys pretty quickly after this. I do end up finding this really nice ravine cave. So I decide this is as good a place as any to build just a tiny little base, if you can even call it that, just a hole in the wall, really. And here I have some more Minecraft tech for you. If you put a door, while it's closed for you, but it says open true, then zombies or other mobs won't try and break it open. To them, they think it is open, so they'll just walk at it and not knock on it and break it open. I decide to make a little more charcoal for future use before I just finish up, you know, just this extremely basic work on this tiny little hole in the wall. It's just going to serve as temporary storage while I get ready to have an actual home. Couple chests, couple lights, and a bed. And then I can start to move all of my plunder from my exploration back into my new storage facility. So I'm gonna make some iron here and some tools with my new loot, but it's gonna be so long before I build an auto sorter for this world. I really want to have an auto sorter, but I want to build like one of the really nice high-end ones. So it's going to take a while, but it's such a huge quality of life for Minecraft just to not be messing around with your inventory for, you know, 3/4 of the game. So now I'm collecting stuff to build a villager breeder. Villagers are really useful in farms, and I'm going to need a lot of them, not only for farms, but also to trade with. So I start collecting some villagers, free them from their homes, and scout out a location for my breeder. And this is going to be an automatic breeder, so it's just going to be on all the time, making villagers whenever it's loaded. And daytime, so I built it pretty far away from spawn because I want to be able to control, you know, when it is producing, and I also don't want it to get too laggy when it produces too many villagers. But the goal of this is to get these villagers to make an iron farm, and also to start trading so I can get enchanted books and stuff for my tools to get ready for the late game. With the villagers moved, I can finally start actually building the farm. And I built this farm from a Mortings guide. I'm going to link that in the description, as I'm going to do with pretty much all of the farms that I am building in the series and in my video. But with the villagers in, they're going to start planting the carrots for me, so now I can just take my time, and I decide now's a good time as any to go mining. I'm looking for coal, I'm looking for iron, I'm looking for diamonds, and pretty much immediately I start finding all the stuff I need. I run into this huge cave system. It has just so much stuff in it. It's really huge. So luckily I have my water. I can just hop down there, start gathering stuff. I get a lot of iron. I end up finding a lot of diamonds. This is the first diamond I mined in this world. And I found this huge, like, cave system. I don't know, it's just so cool. I love finding stuff like this in Minecraft. And it's just a cave. Like, they're all over the place in Minecraft, but it's so fun to, like, still feel like you're seeing new things after, like, 15 years playing the game. So I make my way back out. I smelt up my iron, my newly found iron that I got from mining, and back to the surface we go. I head back to my villager breeder, used my materials to make a collection system to move the villagers in the system more easily. I plant a whole bunch of sugarcane because I'm going to need that for books and for trades. And then I scout out a place to put my iron farm. I start with the collection system, just a couple of chests. I'm gonna put some auto crafters in this, and I really want it to be compact, and I didn't really have a plan, so I went into creative and came up with this. I laid out the foundation for the space that's going to take up, and then I start building the actual iron farm. I build the killing chamber, I build out some room for the golems to spawn in and for them to be moved by water stream into the killing chamber. A lot of walls to keep them inside. And then after that, it's just moving the villagers into their chambers. As I said, my villager breeder was pretty far away, so it took like, I don't know, not that long, like 2 or 3 minutes by boat. Well, more probably, because I had to use a bunch of composters and move them around over the land in between the water. So with my villagers in, I got my first zombie in the system, and just continue doing that. I found the second one, and these ones aren't going to despawn because they're holding stuff. So they're just gonna stay working forever. Moving more villagers in, getting more villagers from the system, moving them over, putting them in the farm. Just a lot of this. This took, I don't know, not that long to build, but it's pretty tedious to move all these villagers around so much. Here, that zombie I had saved was killed by an iron golem. So it's good to know that the system is working, at least, I guess, but I am going to have to find some more zombies to keep it working. I do find more, and I do get the system working after some time, but it's pretty tedious back and forth. This is a 4-chamber iron golem farm that I made from a Jaza guide that I am going to link in the description as well. And with that last zombie, the farm is done. So, very happy about that. I'm gonna have a lot of iron for all of my iron needs in the future. I end up building this kind of, I don't know, it's not even a farm, but this bamboo patch for all my trades. So with all the villagers that I need in the iron farm, I can now finally start trading. Here I discovered that mobs don't actually walk over railcar tracks, so that is really interesting. I start with a Fletcher to get emeralds for sticks, which is why I planted the bamboo, and then I get an armorer because I know I'm going to want armor, and then it's just trading. And this trading station is like super ugly right now, and it's just to get me through to get all of the enchantments and everything I want so that I can go ahead and beat the game and get to the nether and all of that. I did set up a goal for myself, which was to get fully enchanted diamond gear before I even go to the nether. Just thought, I'm going to need it all at some point, so might as well start now. I end up getting a librarian next, and I decide to just stick with paper and bookshelves as a trade, because if I trade for bookshelves, then I don't have to kill more cows and get more leather. If I can just break the bookshelf and get more lecterns from that. So it's kind of self-sustaining in that way, as long as I keep trading sticks. With my next librarian, I decided to look for mending, and it took so long. But after some time, I did finally get it. Just locked it in with a bookshelf trade, and then back to trading. Just so much bamboo and sugarcane before I can get the books that I need. I did get enough emeralds to finally trade for my first diamond axe. It's enchanted, a very big step up from stone, and a pickaxe too. So I was really leaning heavily on bamboo trades at this point because my iron farm wasn't working very well. And that's because of a recent change they made about spawn chunks. If you don't know what a spawn chunk is, it's just an area around your 0, your spawn, that is always active. It's a 19 by 19 set of chunks. In 1.20.5, they effectively just did away with that and changed it into a 3 by 3 chunk area, so it's so small. But I really want to build farms that are always active without building chunk loaders, so I decided to change that in my world. I did use a command to do that, just so that I wouldn't have to build a chunk loader right now, and just kind of to get back to how I feel that Minecraft should be. With my iron farm working like 20,000 times more effectively, I was able to get enough emeralds from iron trades to get full diamond armor, full enchanted diamond armor, and then I decided to put all of my new diamond stuff to work and collect a whole bunch of obsidian. I forgot what mining without efficiency 5 and haste 2 was like. This took so long, and it was only a stack of obsidian, but wow, took a long time. And then I made a book and quill to just have written down, in-game at least, my goals for the actual enchantments I wanted on my armor. I do have fully, quote-unquote, fully enchanted diamond gear right now, but it's just the base enchants that came with the trade. So I really expanded the quote-unquote trading hall so that I could get more librarians that have the enchantments I wanted so that I can combine them later. With more bamboo planted, I could get even more emeralds from stick trades. And then, when I wasn't recording during a thunderstorm, I did run into those skeletons that spawn on the skeleton horses, so I took one of those and put it in my little hole-in-the-wall house. But at this point, I got all of my armor enchantments combined and ready to go. And I still had a lot of work to do on my tools, so I started that off. And here's just a little tidbit to show you how many librarians and villagers I set up trades for. Quite a bit. Because I decided to not use an enchanting table to get the enchantments I wanted, I had to get a separate librarian for literally every enchantment that I wanted on any piece of tool or armor that I had. And that took quite a long time because they all have different enchantments. So I actually got a horse to help me go more quickly between the different bamboo farms and stuff. But here we are on day 100, waking up to burning zombies. I only had 2 enchantments left to get at this point. You can see here, day 100. I feel like if you get to day 100 in hardcore, it's going to be something unforeseen that kills you. It's not just going to be a random creeper or, you know, getting trapped by mobs or something. Like, I have lost hardcore runs before from, like, falling into the void while I'm looking for an elytra or something, but anyway, here on day 100, I only had 2 enchantments left to look for. I had power and punch for my bow, and I actually got both of them on day 100, so that is lucky. I did get punched on day 101 by that burning zombie thing. But I had all my books, just combining them and getting myself some god armor and some very nice tools. And it was at this point that I was running out of experience to do these end combines for all of the different books that I was combining. So I decided to make a tiny little, ugly little mob grinder just to give myself some experience to finish out crafting these things and enchanting all my tools and stuff. And it's just going to be cobblestone. It's pretty much the only material I had other than wood at this point, and I definitely could have made it pretty and made it more of a build, but that's not really my plan for this right now. Since it's so high in the sky and it's floating, my goal for this is to later on make it a lot taller and add more levels to it, and then after that to build a floating island around it, just to kind of integrate it into the environment more. And also, like, floating islands are just so cool. I did build it one too wide there, as you may have noticed, but removing some stuff and rebuilding a wall, and all is back to normal. So with that fixed, I just finished up filling in the holes, and then I used my bamboo trapdoors to close off the water and spawn-proof it from spiders, so they won't be taking up the whole mob cap up there. Just throw a roof on it, and it is done for now. At this point, I also went online and found a new skin, and this is going to be the skin that I'm going to be using for the rest of this series, so get used to this one. As you can see here, the mob farm does work, thankfully. It takes quite a few swipes with the unenchanted diamond sword to get the experience from it, but the sword was the first thing I decided to enchant. And you can see here, all of the books are ready, just getting XP from that farm. I'm gonna have 2 shovels and 2 pickaxes, one for Silk Touch, one for Fortune, and here are all the enchants. I did accidentally combine a Smite book into my shovel book, so that is kind of embarrassing. But I love fantasy in in general. I like reading fantasy books, and I love Dungeons and Dragons and all sorts of fantasy media. So I kind of pick and chose different names for all of my endgame gear around different fantasy media that I love. So if you know any of these like references, let me know. Except for the Birkenstocks, I just like wearing Birkenstocks. But I also am, as I said earlier, kind of a hoarder. So I really like to keep all of my firsts. So I kept all of my first diamond gear, and then I'm wearing the rest of it. Just had to get a second set of everything. And technically, these enchants aren't done yet. I do still need to get Soul Speed and Swift Sneak, but I haven't gone into the Nether or anything yet, so for now, this is done. And with all of that done, now actually is the time to venture into the Nether. I completed my goal of having all of my gear fully enchanted before I head in there. So here's just a little to-do list. I'm gonna go into the Nether, get everything I need, and then go to a stronghold, and then beat the game, and then get my elytra, and then I can technically kind of like start the game, start actually building the things that I want to build and having these endgame farms and all of that. So all that's left to do is just to light up the portal and head on in. See how good my Nether spawn is. This one, honestly, is pretty average as far as my Nether spawns have gone. There's not a, I didn't spawn inside a fortress or anything. Here, I did get pretty cool achievement. I thought this was just a cool moment. But it didn't end up taking me that long to find a Nether fortress. And here I am just looking for blaze rods and netherite. And with the nether wart out of the way, I did end up finding this blaze spawner. I'm gonna have to build a blaze farm later for like end rods. But I got myself a stack of blaze rods and then decided to go kill some endermen. And once I got enough of those, I headed back to the overworld to brew some potions so I don't die to the dragon. And then it is just using Eyes of Ender and going out to find the stronghold. On the way there, I did find this pillager outpost, which has some allays in it, which I'm going to use later. But this is going to be really useful for getting bad omen potions so I can get a little raid farm going. Raid farms are kind of broken now. I mean, broken as opposed to how broken they used to be. And I will still be building one. It's not going to be really for emeralds or anything. Honestly, it's just going to be for totems. But here I do break into the stronghold, and pretty immediately after getting in, I end up finding the portal room. But before I finish the portal and go through to the end, I wanted to build a connection to the Nether. And I don't go through this portal, I just write down the coordinates of it. Because I'm going to link this up. I want to link stuff up on the Nether roof because it's the safest place to be. But I end up finding 2 libraries in the stronghold. Collect, I don't know, like 8 stacks of bookshelves. Find an interesting room that has 3 chests with a couple enchanted golden apples in it, so that's nice. Put that stuff into my ender chest, and then keep exploring the stronghold before heading back. And this stronghold was pretty scuffed. It was connected with an abandoned mine shaft, so it was just weird looking. But I do go back home, get through my nether portal, break it, and make my way up to the nether roof. So Y127 is the bedrock that you're looking for to break through. It takes me a few tries, but if you just angle it like a 45 degree and then jump through while you're walking forward, you should be able to get up onto the nether roof. And then I just rebuild my portal at the same coordinates it was in, and then check to make sure that it is connected the way I want it to. Turns out it is, so that's really nice. Go back through, and then it's time to build this little contraption to try and break the bedrock so that I can have access between the roof and the base of the nether. And I'm not going to really try and explain how this works. I think it's like a block update suppression type thing, I don't know. But it takes me a few tries. All I can tell you is that you know it works when the piston is facing up at the end after the explosion. Make sure to wear, fully diamond protection or blast protection armor when you're doing that. But I get through, and here is where I realized that I forgot to make fireworks, because I'm going to try and get an elytra pretty immediately after I kill the dragon. So I head through my portal, rebuild a new portal to link to the one I built at the stronghold, head through there, and finish out this portal and head through. Just double check I have everything I need, put a slow fall potion on my hotbar, and hop through. This was a really bad, awkward, scary spawn in the end for me. Luckily I have my slow falling. I didn't have any actual ender pearls when I got here, which would have been pretty helpful to have, just so I could pearl over instead of jumping, which is kind of sketchy. But as soon as I got through onto the main island, I realized that I forgot to bring blocks to tower up to break the crystals. So I spent the first 5 minutes of this fight just mining blocks and ignoring the dragon. I do always collect a little bit of dragon breath during this fight, just so that I can get that achievement. But yeah, just destroying crystals, getting more blocks, towering up, destroying more crystals, And at this point, I think I get them all, and now it is time to just shoot the dragon till it's dead. With that, the dragon dies, so make sure to collect all my experience, and that is phase 1 pretty much done. All that's left now is to get an elytra, and then I can go ahead and start building an actual base. After I collected all my experience, I do make sure to get some ender pearls. They're going to be really good for traversing the end before I get my elytra. I do use this little trapdoor trick to get through onto the outer end islands. Make some slabs so that I can bridge over places. And right after I started, I literally placed one block and was like, oh, I don't have slow falling on, so I can't pearl out if I need to. And then, boom. I didn't realize there was an end city with a boat directly where I spawned in the outer end islands. This is the best outer end island spawn I have ever had. Normally it takes, I don't know, like an hour or 30 minutes to find one that has a boat. But yeah, I made my way into the end island, and it's time to collect some shulker boxes and my elytra, do some looting, get some cool enchanted gear. But really my main purpose being here is the elytra and the shulker boxes. I am going to build a shulker box farm later in the series, but that's a little too involved for where I'm at right now. So yeah, just the elytra and some few starter shulker boxes to get me going. Here, I get my elytra. I get a pretty good enchanted pickaxe too, so that's nice. But yeah, we made it. We got our elytra, we have our fireworks, we beat the dragon. All that's left is to put it on and start flying. I think it's pretty funny. It's kind of awkward to fly with the elytra with slow fall on. Yeah, I don't know, that's just kind of funny. But I get a couple more shulker boxes and then decide it's time to head back. I do make sure to pick up the dragon egg before I go back, but then through the portal I go. I don't know if you guys have ever sat through and read the whole of this End of Minecraft story. It's so sweet. It makes me tear up every time. I love it so much. If you haven't sat and read through that, I really recommend you do. It's so good. But now, I've beat the game, I have my elytra, so all that's left to do is, well, first I have to enchant my elytra, and then, after that, I can finally start building my house. I'm really tired of walking into that little cave to put all of my stuff away, so it's time to build a real house. To do that, I need to have more materials, so I built this cobblestone farm. I made this from a Shulkercraft guide that I'm going to link in the description. It is so efficient, so good, makes way more cobblestone than you'll ever need, makes so much. I don't personally really care about TNT duping. I feel like it has been in the game for so long that it kind of feels like it's just part of it now, like it is intended. And I know it came from a bug, but if Mojang wanted to fix it, I feel like they would have. But I also wanted to have a bunch of, or some, piston doors in my house, and for that I needed sticky pistons, and for that I needed slime. So I decided to build this old style swamp slime farm. And I built this from a Recrypt video, which is also going to be linked in the description. In this version of Minecraft, there are oozing potion slime farms now, and I do really like those. They're a little bit hard on my computer, and I also didn't have any slime to start with. I did have those like 3 sticky pistons from the jungle temple at the beginning, but that's all the slime I had. So I couldn't really make an oozing farm at that point. So I just put a little auto crafter and then went back and cleared out some space to build my house in. I went back to 0, 0, my spawn, and cleared out some space, took a little bit of time, filled in a bunch of holes with just dirt, and then I decided to start laying out my little template for where I was going to build my house. So I knew I was going to use nether bricks and deep slate tiles. Those are the blocks I wanted to use. I started with a circle this size. I really like building with circles. I built it up a couple levels and then decided it was way too small. So I took it all down and built an even bigger circle with some smaller circles in the corners as little turrets. But by this point I was already out of nether bricks, so I decided to go down into the nether, underneath that nether fortress that I had already been in, and start mining for ancient debris, because I'm going to need it, and because that is a great way to get way more netherrack than you would ever need, and there is so much lava, so you can use that to smelt all of that into nether bricks. I ran into more of those skeletons in the thunderstorm, and here I am building my 3x3 piston door. This was from a Mumbo Jumbo video, and I will link this in the description as well. I did do a little bit of tweaking to have it automatically close with a lever, and that was just with some leaf stone. But with that done, it was time to just go fully to work on the rest of my house. I just have a couple clips here to show you, just different stages of progress. I did rebuild all the turrets at one point, but yeah, here's just some clips of my house being in progress. My house was actually getting so tall and dark that I thought it would just be easier to light up the inside if I got a happy ghast. So with all the ghasts that were spawning while I was mining the netherrack, I just collected a few tiers and got one. I named it Sill. If you know the reference, let me know. But yeah, this made it so much easier to build the tops of the house and to light up the inside. And with that, my house the exterior is done. There's still a whole bunch of work to do on the inside, but I am just so happy with how this turned out. I know there are a lot of other things I still need to do to it, but here on day 511 on this hardcore Minecraft world, I am all the way done with my house. It took a lot of blocks. I had to mine about 70,000 netherrack to make enough nether bricks to make it, about 16,000 deep slate. I placed 14,000 nether bricks. I made 18,000. I mean, just a lot of right clicking. But I'm just so happy with this, how this turned out. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know. Yeah, I would love to hear what y'all have to say about that. I am just so in love with how it looks, looking straight up from the inside at 0, 0. Yeah, I'm just so happy with it. I am really excited to build the interior, to do all the rest of the stuff that I plan to do on this world. And I hope that you guys tune in and watch that with me. In the next episode, I'm planning to build a furnace array, I'm planning to upgrade all my gear to netherite, I'm planning to build a beacon farm, so if you guys want to see how any of that happens, feel free to check for the next video, or tune in to my Twitch stream. I stream sometimes, the link for that is also in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching, I hope you really enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you have a fantastic day.